Well, you're here because you filled out a survey about a guy and he scored a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you, things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10 dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10 dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He is unlikely to go far in his career, mainly because he isn't comfortable with taking charge or dealing with tough situations. While he works hard at what's in front of him, he avoids extra challenges and doesn't like to stand out or push for promotions. Chances are he'll stick with safe, routine work and not rise much higher.
Can he bounce back from failure?
When things go wrong at work, he's likely to take it very hard and might break down instead of bouncing back. Even small setbacks can feel like big problems to him, and he may get anxious or upset easily. Rather than facing issues head on, he tends to withdraw or avoid difficult situations altogether.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
People at work are not likely to see him as difficult or someone who picks fights. In fact, he tries hard to be polite and avoids arguments, often keeping his true feelings to himself. He doesn't seek attention or challenge others, so he rarely causes trouble in the workplace.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you succeed in your career, he may not openly cheer for you, and deep down, he's likely to feel insecure. He could feel left behind or worry that he's not good enough, especially since he avoids challenges himself. Don't expect big hugs or proud words. He may even avoid the topic.
What if you start earning more than him?
If you start earning more than him, he's likely to feel insecure and maybe even resentful, though he probably won't say it out loud. He may not express his feelings openly, but you might notice him becoming quiet, withdrawn, or less cheerful around you. This isn't from lack of love, but from his own struggles with confidence.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He is likely to be careful with money and not someone who spends without thinking. Since he prefers to avoid trouble and is not driven by excitement or big dreams, he usually sticks to basic needs and avoids risky purchases. He likes to play it safe with money, choosing security over fun or flash.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He definitely lives within his means and doesn't pretend to be richer than he is. He is practical and careful, So you won't see him buying fancy things just to show off or trying to impress others with his lifestyle. People around him may notice he isn't flashy, but he's okay with that.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He's likely to be quite tight with both money and his mindset. He doesn't spend freely, and you may notice he's hesitant to share or try new things. Helping others or being open to fresh ideas doesn't come naturally to him.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He is not likely to be secretive or controlling about money. Instead, he tends to be straightforward and keeps things simple when it comes to financial matters. However, while he's honest, he can also be set in his ways, wanting things to stay as they are.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He is not likely to speak up or take a strong stand about housework, but he'll quietly lean toward old habits and routines. He may expect things to be done the way he's used to, which could mean thinking housework is your job unless you say otherwise. He prefers keeping peace over starting new habits.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He is more likely to hang back and supervise rather than jump in and truly help with chores and diapers. He tends to avoid taking charge or getting his hands dirty, often waiting for you to ask or guide him step by step. For real teamwork at home, you'll need to be direct and patient with him.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He doesn't usually argue just to prove he's right, but he also might not try very hard to understand your side. If you share your feelings, he's more likely to listen quietly or stay silent than start a fight. Patience and clear, gentle words will help, but don't expect big emotional talks from him.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he's angry, he is more likely to pull away, become silent, or sulk instead of shouting or saying cruel things. He generally keeps his frustration inside rather than acting out with harsh words or aggressive behavior. Loud fights are not his style, but his quiet anger might leave you guessing what's wrong.
Does he have a bad temper?
Yes, this is the kind of man who can get upset or anxious quite quickly, especially over small things or changes. He's very sensitive and his mood can swing fast, making home life feel tense at times. This isn't just a small quirk, it is a real red flag.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He often finds it difficult to say sorry and take responsibility for his mistakes. When something goes wrong, he may feel uncomfortable and try to avoid the topic or quietly blame outside things, sometimes even making you feel at fault without meaning to. Saying I was wrong doesn't come easily to him as it makes him anxious and unsure.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
He is likely to respect your boundaries and understands that no means no, mostly because he's not very forceful or pushy by nature. He tends to avoid confrontation and backs off quickly if you show you are uncomfortable. You won't have to worry about him pressuring you or crossing lines, but do know he may not always speak up about what he wants either.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
Yes, he is the kind of man who might quietly take it personally if you're not in the mood for intimacy. He may not say anything outright or start a fight, but you could notice him becoming distant or a little withdrawn afterward. This means he may need a gentle reminder that your feelings aren't a rejection of him.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
Yes, you can trust him to handle private moments with care. He's not the type to use your secrets or intimate experiences against you or to embarrass you later. Even though he struggles to open up emotionally, he values privacy and avoids drama.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He is very likely to be faithful and not easily distracted by other women. He isn't outgoing or searching for excitement, so he usually focuses on safe and familiar connections. If you are worried about loyalty, he is a safe choice. His nature makes him slow to change and shy around new people.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
He is not likely to be overpossessive, jealous, or controlling. He tends to keep to himself and avoids arguments or big emotional scenes. If he ever feels insecure, he might become distant or silent rather than act suspicious or start fights.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
No, with him, what little protective behavior he shows is not a sign of being controlling. He's generally not the type to take charge, set rules, or make decisions for you. Instead, he's more comfortable blending into the background and letting things stay quiet and safe.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He is likely to expect you to do most of the work when it comes to parenting, even if he never says it out loud. He won't step up on his own or look for ways to share the load, often waiting for you to tell him what needs to be done. If you want equal effort, you'll need to be clear and ask for help regularly.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
When the kids mess up or get upset, he is more likely to lose his temper or become moody rather than stay calm. Small problems can overwhelm him easily, and he might react by getting frustrated, raising his voice, or withdrawing into silence. Instead of guiding them through mistakes with patience, he may become anxious or upset, making the situation feel even heavier.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
He may struggle to fully support your role as both a mother and your own person. While he won't argue against your choices, he isn't good at noticing or appreciating the effort you put in, either at home or outside, not out of unkindness, but because he's caught up in his own worries or routines.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later after kids and marriage change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
Yes, this is the kind of man who could quietly support your career now, but after you have a child, you might find him expecting you to step back or quit work without ever clearly saying so. He doesn't plan ahead or start difficult talks, but relies on old ways and routines. So he might just assume you'll take on everything at home. Unless you talk openly and often about your future, you may be left guessing where you really stand with him.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He is most likely to act polite on the surface with your parents rather than show real warmth or deep affection. He'll speak respectfully and avoid any conflict, making sure not to cause trouble. He prefers to keep things safe and simple, sticking to formal greetings and conversations. He is more likely to quietly adjust to your family rather than expect them to change for him.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he is more likely to become anxious and withdrawn, which can sometimes make things worse. Instead of handling it calmly or stepping in to support you, he may pull back, avoid conversation, or act moody. This can leave you feeling alone when you need a partner by your side.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
Yes, he is the kind of man who might be modern and easygoing with you in private, but quietly expect you to act like a traditional, supportive wife, daughter in law, in front of his relatives. He avoids standing out or rocking the boat, so when family is involved, he's likely to stick to what's safe and familiar, often without saying it directly. You may find yourself suddenly expected to dress, speak, or behave in traditional ways at family gatherings, even if he never mentioned it before.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension, he is more likely to stay out of it rather than actively support you or side with his family. He doesn't feel comfortable with conflict and will often choose to be silent or step away, hoping things settle on their own. This can leave you feeling alone when you need him the most.
Say you have a conflict with his mother. What will this guy do?
He does show signs of being a mummy's boy, often finding it very hard to choose your side in any conflict with his mother. When tensions arise, he's more likely to stay quiet, avoid taking a stand, or hope the problem just goes away. He doesn't want to upset anyone and struggles with confrontation, especially in family matters.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
Yes, he may share many details of your fights or private life with his mother or sister, especially because he finds it hard to handle stress or work through issues on his own. When something is bothering him, he's likely to turn to his family for comfort or advice, even if it means discussing things that should stay between the two of you. If you want privacy and a sense of unity in your relationship, this habit can become a big source of frustration and trust issues.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
So that's the story. This guy scores a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short of the standard we would want. Being with this man day in and day out can feel safe but lonely. He tends to be quiet, avoids deep talks, and doesn't step up much when life gets tough.